Hello and welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John, where in each episode we'll stroll down the Macintosh memory lane. We'll discuss older Macintosh computers, collecting all things related to the Mac and Apple computer, and current topics from the perspective that only a couple of old Mac fans can provide.
All right. Hey, John. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
And good evening and good afternoon to all the peoples listening in other time zones.
We had some last minute, I don't know what it is with the computer problems. I said all these great things about Rogue Amoeba last week. And then I was trying to actually use the updated version. I was having some configuration problems, but I sorted it all out. One of them, there's a conflict. It uses all kinds of trickery, right, to hijack audio, and this has these weird processes running, and you have to install these little add-ons and things. And yeah, I had to remember how to quit processes and find them and do all kinds of things like that I don't normally have to do. And then it doesn't, the if you're using Hijack Pro version 4 does not automatically import your sessions from version 3.
So that is really weird.
So
I wonder if that was just a glitch. I guess what'll happen, I guess we'll find out when I finally update.
Well, don't delete 3 right away, because I had to go back, reinstall 3, open the session, export the session, then open 4 so I could import. Now, maybe those sessions were hidden someplace that I couldn't find it, but if version 4 couldn't find it, how much luck was I going to have?
Right, exactly.
Anyway,
it was like probably in application support or somewhere.
I don't know. I went there. I don't know. All right. Let's see. What do we got going on this week? Well, let's hit the record button so we get all this for the record. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John. This is episode 627 for October 2nd, 2022. Good morning, John.
Good morning, James.
Okay, what's going on this week? The Icon Garden. The Icon Garden was a fixture at One Infinity Loop at the Apple Worldwide headquarters for, I think, about 5 years. And then, poof, it was gone. What happened to it? Where did it go?
Don't you mean move?
Move. Better. Yes, it went out with a whimpering moof. And it's a mystery to this day. So we'll talk more about that.
Okay.
And we've got eBay files. We got a little news. Do you still have it there sitting before you? Had a little toy you were showing me earlier.
Oh, yes. I don't want to brag, but I got some booty this weekend.
I
got an Apple II booty. These things are great. They're a hard drive emulator, USB port, very easy to put on images, and very hard to get. A gentleman in Australia, David Mutimer, makes these, and they're sold. Chris Torrance sells them on his site, the CT6502, off the top of my head. Anyway, really worth it especially if you can't get like a CFFA 3000 or anything like that. This is a nice little card, easy to use. Highly recommend them.
And that's going in your MacFX Clear.
Oh, well, so I've got one in there, but then it took me like almost over a year for them to get more in, so I could. And I was on a waiting list, so this one's going into my Apple II GS.
Got it. Awesome. All right. Well, let's come back with some eBay finds. All right. Let's see. We'll throw this up there, and let's go in 3, 2, 1. It's time for eBay finds. Last week we had the rare Bell & Howell Apple II Plus. This one was a little beat up. Could use a deep clean, and well, it's missing a couple of keycaps too. But what did it sell for? After 9 bids, this one sold for $255. Okay, and then the Woz edition, the Apple II GS. This one very complete, including just about every box that gets shipped with it. Printer. Yeah, very complete. Available for the buy it now of $1,000, or you can make an offer. It is still available, local pickup in Mesa, Arizona. Then the Apple branded external hard drive. This is the 2 gigabyte SCSI hard drive. I think the last one that they sold. Still available, buy it now, $500, or you can make an offer on that. We will begin with a boxed Macintosh 2FX, refurbed, recapped, upgraded, and more. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, it says the board has been completely recapped. Even the tantalum caps have been replaced with HQ caps. Is that just high quality? Must be. It says no corrosion from the battery. He says, I didn't use axial caps because most of them have really low hours.
Huh.
It says the power supply has been completely recapped with the fan clean, new speaker, Mac Rominator 2 installed.
Wow.
Both floppy drives have been cleaned with new gears, upgraded to 128 megs of RAM. There was a heatsink fan placed on the memory controller. The CPU crystal socketed and upgraded to 100 megahertz. The CPU and FPU have been upgraded to 50 megahertz.
Jeez.
Both the upper and lower metal sheets have been taken out, rust removed, spray painted with Rust-Oleum. The machine has been whitened. Includes a Japanese keyboard that has been whitened as well. Original box, matching serial numbers. Mouse, ADB cable, power cable, regular video card. And here's some pictures of that.
That's quite a list. Wow.
Quite a list of things. But does it work? Gosh. You know, it must. I mean, it doesn't exactly say that. Do we have any pictures that give us evidence? I'm looking at the site. Does it look like it's a little dirty here on the front, a little worn? I don't know. It's not bad. I'm looking at the pictures here. You can see a lot of other stuff on the background.
It does look right around the floppy ports. It does look like. Yeah.
Looks like it's got all the port covers. That's important too.
Very nice. Mm-hmm.
Look at around. Japanese keyboard. That's kind of an odd one, right? It's not necessarily a Japanese 2FX, but for some reason he's packaging the Japanese keyboard with it.
Huh.
Styrofoam intact, and but nothing about operation.
That is
no hard drive.
That's got to be an oversight.
No hard drive.
No hard drive.
No.
I see. You're giving some inside pictures. All right.
Oh
yeah, because it's the dual floppy version, right?
Did the dual floppy not have a hard drive? Is that possible? I think it must have had hard drive standard. So
okay. Wasn't sure.
Well, maybe this you can see a Japanese. Well, there's a Japanese sticker that's like a post sticker or something on the top of the box.
Okay, so perhaps this was purchased,
maybe, or shipped from there or something. I don't know, but it's located in Los Altos, California. And they want a buy now of $1,500, or you can make an offer. It's even if it doesn't have a hard drive, if they would have booted off a floppy just to to show it in operation somehow, that it's all this is one you want to ask some questions, right? You can send some questions.
Right. Especially with that buy it now price.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the 2FX is definitely a popular system, and they do fetch some pretty high prices. So if this one does work, presumably, but would be great to find out. And I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see if anything happens next week. Okay, moving on.
Your Google Home isn't set up yet. To get started, download the Google Home app on a phone or tablet.
That's you.
Yeah, I know that's me. I got like all these smart speakers set up here, and what did we
Are we
say?
gonna get some more classical music while we talk about this
Yeah, I
amazing
hope
piece of
not.
artwork?
All right, what do we got?
All right. Next up, we have a custom painted vintage Apple Macintosh desktop computer. And it is definitely custom. You want to kind of go through the pictures. Well, wait, let's describe it. So front view,
Okay.
you've got several bananas painted on top and a yellow stripe. Also on the front, there's the large letter numbers 716, all in different colors. Okay,
Does
go
that mean
ahead.
anything to anybody?
I have it. Go ahead to the
Let's
next
take a
view.
look at- Okay.
Go ahead. All right. So left-hand side, we've got 5 spots, like it's a dice, like the 5 on a die, a 6-sided die.
Yeah.
All right. Please continue.
All right.
Other side, 2 buffalo. Now I'm not a sports. I don't play sports ball. Is that a logo? Is that a sports logo?
Well, the one on the
some sort?
top is the Buffalo Bills.
Ah,
logo.
okay. Thank you.
The one on the bottom, for some reason there's a smaller buffalo on the bottom. Looks like it's coming off like a buffalo nickel or something. I don't know the significance, and you can see that bezel is then two-toned on the right side.
Oh, right. Yeah. You can't see
on the
that from the
edge.
front, but yes, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. You got blue and red. And wait,
Yeah.
there's more.
One more
There's
side.
a back still, in which case they have decided to put a minion on there. I don't know which minion, but a minion is on the back. Which I guess makes sense because of all the bananas. All right. So
716 is the Buffalo area code. Yes.
All right. Very good.
So if you're dialing out,
well, I guess it makes sense that this is coming from Springville, New York.
So
currently,
currently
it has
masterpiece?
8 bids. 8 people have bid on this. $61.
Huh.
Note, no mention of keyboard or mouse or power cord. Completely untested. Why is this going for $61 already? This has 3 days to go.
Well, it comes from the
shipping. Shipping is $73.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it comes from the Cam P-Tech Academy. It's a Springfield, New York, and the design was made by head of the art department Evan Ivanko and co-head Sean Weber.
Oh, right.
So it has.
Oh, I see it. Oh, holy cow. Okay.
So there's some backstory. So maybe that's really significant.
Well, if anyone out there is a fan of Evan Vancho or Sean Weber, here's your chance.
Yeah, there must be a story behind. I mean, obviously the Buffalo Bills tie. I don't know what the 5 on the die and the bananas, how that all. Do buffaloes like bananas? Maybe I don't know. And then the minion. Yeah, it's got a little bit of activity here early on. It's very curious. Okay, well, let's close out with something a little more conventional. The Power Mac G3 300 megahertz mini tower. The last great G3 beige model, right? The monster that this thing is.
Yes.
In the box. And it says it's in like new condition. It says it was bought for a businessman for his wife back around 1999, but she didn't like it. She was a Windows user and couldn't get used to Mac OS. It sat on her desk for about a month before he finally gave up and got her a Windows machine. Then it went back in the box and was there until I bought it in 2014. I tested it out, stashed it in my collection, took it out again in 2016 just to play with it, see if it was all working then, put it back until today.
All right.
Story goes on. It says, today when I booted up the hard drive, did make a couple of odd clicks and wouldn't boot, powered it on or off and back on and booted just fine. Tried running it for an hour, shut it down and started up again just fine. Did it a few more times just to be sure. Long story short, it may need the hard drive replaced in the future, but it's working fine at the moment. Cosmetically, the system looks like it rolled off the assembly line. No scratches, cracks, marks of any kind, no wear on the keyboard and mouse. Everything looks like new. Cardboard box has some water damage. This occurred shortly after I bought the system, and the box was empty at the time. It was a small amount of water on the floor, but it shows poorly years later. It will be double boxed for shipping. There you go. It's got 8.6 installed. Tested the floppy and CD, both work fine. Okay. Wow, there you go. So 300 megahertz, 64 mega RAM, 7 gig hard drive, CD, zip, and 3.5. Now we like these systems because they're great.
They're a great bridge system. Absolutely.
You can, still with the floppy and CD, but you can add cards to this and of course network the thing and get USB going on it. You can do a lot of things with this thing. And they want to buy it now of $799.99, but there is a make it offer. And you could pick it up in Ellensburg in the state of Washington, or you can ship it. It's about $80 to ship to Florida from there. What do you think? Nice system. $800.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, it's a little, maybe a little high, but boy, it's in sharp condition. And
I like it's got it comes with the VGA adapter, and it's got the full up Wings personality card. So it's got AV in, AV out, and S video, which is nice.
There's a nice picture of
a few
clean,
more features.
Very clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look inside. Not a dust bunny in sight. Look at that. Just beautiful.
Yep.
Brand
Absolutely.
spanking new mouse as well. There it is booting up. So, yeah, I don't know.
I think it's pretty steep. There were a lot of these, and even more of the what do you want to call it? The flat version versus the tower version of this.
The flat version,
right? Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about a standard
monitor
desktop
on top of, right?
Yeah, the desktop is part of the tower. Yeah. Yeah, these were boy, super expensive back then. Pretty rare in this condition. Yeah. You're looking at a unique one right here. Okay.
So
yeah,
I just sent you a link.
Okay.
So All Things was asking, didn't Bloom County have a banana Mac? And so
yes, of course, it does evoke that, doesn't it? The
so
Banana Junior.
Can you bring up the link I sent?
Oh.
If you do a search on Banana Junior, you will see a project that I did many years ago, where I did a pretty nice Banana Junior. I think
I'm finding it. I'm pulling it up here. There it is.
Yeah.
Bloom County's Banana Junior 6000 lives on as a fantastic case mod. And that's John's handiwork right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With the 6-color banana. And yeah, so the banana and the other one kind of looked like that banana. It's not 6 colors. Mm-hmm. So did you sell this to that person, or what? How did this article come about? I don't even remember. It was just somebody saw. Somebody saw those shots.
They saw it on our website.
Yeah,
we had the pictures on Ning.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just wrote up about
mm-hmm.
it. Does it give? I guess it linked to us, but does it say anything about you in here,
John? Yeah, right there.
There it is, right here.
RetroMacCast. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. Beauty. And what happened to that? I forget. You sold it.
So there was a guy that contacted me. He was
Burke Brathid.
Actually, I think he posted a picture on his Facebook when I did this.
Berkeley.
But
Berkeley.
Barkley. Actually, it's pronounced Barkley.
Oh.
Yeah. Brethid. Yeah.
Brethid.
Brethid. Yes. Barkley Brethid.
Barkley Brethid. Yes. The artist behind.
Breathed. Yeah. Anyway, so a guy who was a huge Oliver Wendell Jones fan, which was the owner of the Banana Junior, wanted to use it as basically a word processing machine.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually kind of kept in touch with him over the years, and yeah, he's got it. Maybe one day I'll do another one if I ever have a completely defunct system for the case to do something like this with.
Yeah. Few people know that what
Oh,
inspired John to do this is the case had gotten so yellowed.
So the feet, could you scroll down to the feet? The feet are those, I made those out of wood, and then the it's 2 shift boots for the legs. Yeah. And it worked really well for the look, comparing it to the if you ever look at pictures of the Banana Junior. Yeah.
Was there something? Didn't it have something on the back too? Didn't it have a proper logo on the back?
Yes. I did a Banana Junior logo on the back.
We don't have a
Thing
picture
on
of
the
that
back,
here.
like information.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. Moving on. And let's go in. Well, get all this out of the way. In 3, 2, 1. Okay. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the Icon Garden. The Icon Garden. Well, it was stood up, I think, 1993, and decommissioned in 1998, and located at the One Infinite Loop there in Cupertino, California. The story goes that there was like a deal between Apple and the Cupertino Chamber of Commerce to make Apple, quote, more involved towards the community and public art.
Huh.
And so these were commissioned, and they were big. Here, let's show. We tracked down a QT VR video here, and John's going to pilot us. We're going to get a VR.
So I had to...
Everybody put your goggles on.
So yeah, I had to. This is running in Cheap Shaver, so I could load the QuickTime.
Yeah,
VR.
it wouldn't open in whatever the latest OS 10 versions are. So we've got 8 icons.
8. Yeah, and this one is, I am assuming, an eraser. This is the only one that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that's the eraser
that you could
in Mac Paint, I think. So these are all original icons from the original Mac OS.
So going around clockwise, we've got the hand and a cursor, which is very nice. Yeah. Kind of scrolling around. Paintbrush, which looks awesome, right next to the paint can. Then we have the
paint can is actually the fill tool, right? Is that
the fill tool? Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Then you've got the pencil tool, followed by the watch cursor.
Right, which is the original spinning beach ball of death.
Fortunately, on this one, Claris has gone on a diet.
Side view.
Kind of this very side view of Claris, the dog cow, which of course is my favorite. So yeah, but yeah, it's kind of cool that we were able to get the QuickTime VR working. Vertigo.
For reference, there the Claris was about 6 feet high and 12 feet long.
Well, I swear I saw a picture and there was a guy standing next to it, and unless he was really short, Claris looked like it had to be taller.
Taller.
You've seen him in person.
I do, but it's been so long. I don't remember. Okay. Here's there's a great little website here called Claris the Dog Cow Moof Museum, which has some of the facts in there and a bunch of links to other information. I didn't click through all those. I don't know if all of them are still active, but here's a nice picture of Claris right there, so you can see it does look way taller than 6 feet tall. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find that other picture.
Taken from the Cairo font. Well, and then here's a nice little walkthrough here. Some better pictures. This is over at 512 pixels. Guest post by James Thompson here. And you can see there some nice photos taken of the garden. There's a nice shot right there. Now here, aren't they?
Gone over. I'm sorry.
It looks like they're rearranged.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I guess not. Go ahead. Have I gone there?
The Moof Museum. Did you go find that one?
I didn't go there. No.
Okay. They've got a picture of like 4 people and 2 people are so yeah, they're
Oh,
these
there.
people aren't there you go. Aren't even coming up to
Yeah.
the top
6
of the
feet
body.
tall. Right. That's got to be at least
Yeah,
10 feet tall.
at
That's more than
least
that.
at least
Yeah.
10 feet tall. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So they were big. Well, what became of them? And written up over in, I think it was a Quora question about 7 years ago, David Schlesinger wrote this. He said, "This happened while I was at Apple. We went home." He's talking about the disappearance in 1998. "We went home one evening. I don't believe it was even a Friday, and the icon garden was there. And when we came in the following morning, it was gone. Nothing but little bare circles in the grass where the pieces had been mounted. I cornered Steve," that's Steve Jobs, "at a beer bash shortly after that to ask whether he was responsible for the overnight disappearance, since up until that point, it was pretty much a mystery to people what had happened. He admitted he had done it. He found them, quote, too pixelated, and and that they were at that point sitting in a warehouse over in Santa Clara. Why?" he asked me. "Do you want to buy them?" he asked. So they were in a warehouse, last we know, in Santa Clara, according to a very reliable source. Are they still there? Who knows?
It belongs in a museum.
Around that time, there was a little Apple museum within Apple, and all those contents were donated to Stanford. Stanford has a collection of stuff, but the icon garden was not given to Stanford, so we don't know. And it's a shame that well, maybe they still exist. I guess I'm gonna put the call out there to Tim Cook to track these down or rebuild them from scratch, because there's lots of great property now within the Apple campus to resurrect these. And with all the nostalgia, and gosh, think about like,
well, they brought Claris back.
They have
less pixelated
a number of times. So. Well, even pixelated on T-shirts and things. What better time than now to bring back the icon garden, especially with things like Minecraft. There's a lot of like this love for the pixelated art that has
I tried to find if I could find where anyone's done anything in game anywhere. I was not successful, but surely somebody
did that in Minecraft, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I've seen some amazing Apple related things made in Minecraft. Stephen Wyrick, who we've had on the show. And yes, Lego lends itself quite nicely to anything with pixels. So this person over
this is,
at
Tim Toon, TIMTOON.com has a post Apple Icon Garden where Tim has made some nice Lego.
Wonderfully recreated them, yes.
Yeah, look at that. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. Got the original icons there. Be cool if they had Lego minifigs to little scale. Well, these would be giant icons in that case. These are pretty big.
He did a great job on them. They look really good. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it. There's not much more to say. It's just a mystery.
I wish I had been able to see them in person.
Maybe one day. I meant to look for my pictures, but I don't think they were any better than what we found online. I think when I was there, that maybe they had fenced off that area so you couldn't actually approach them. I don't know. It's because I remember seeing them in person, but I remember it wasn't like you could walk up to them like I would have. Right. I would have certainly had a photo of myself, with it. But anyway. All right. Well, the Icon Garden, maybe it will come back. Hopefully, we can only hope. Okay, I 3D printed several. I guess I print more. Someone had created the Icon Garden.
Yeah,
5 times scale. Oh, several years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, Charks, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and All Things DG says they went by one time and then they were gone. Yep. Okay, let's get some news. And let's go in 3, 2, 1. Okay, just a couple of news stories here. There was an auction for a rare prototype 128K Mac over at liveauctioneers.com. And prototype. So what does that mean exactly? Well, it's got some interesting differences.
Pictures?
Yeah. Well, that's not going to work. There we go. Okay. So there it is.
No. Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at it myself. Should I share that with everybody? How about we do this?
There we go.
There we go. There's some pictures. There's some yellowing there in the case, and looks like dirt. Looks like it could get a scrub. At the face there, do you see much difference in that Mac?
No, it's not a Twiggy, so it's not that early.
No, it's not a huge configuration difference. It's got an interesting custom leather case that comes with it, but that's not official that I know of.
Unless that was a prototype for case manufacturer for them.
All right.
Also.
Are these photos just gonna? All right, is that another photo? Are these things gonna show? Is it gonna curse me? What is going on here? Let's try. Okay, we got some other photos here. We can get some closer. I don't know.
Well,
their photo viewer is kind of crappy. Here's the back. This is what really starts to look a little different here. Okay, and this right here specifically, right? Where you get the Mater Tectura Apple. You got actually two Apple logos. You got a 6-color badge, and you got the one that looks like an old Apple II sort of.
Yeah, with the right? It's really interesting to see the Mater Tectura font being used down there. Yeah.
Lots of close-ups here, and of course, this picture viewer sucks, so I can't. Anyway, but that's like a huge difference. Well, our friend Steve Mac84 did a detailed breakdown of this listing, and he did his sort of assessment of the whole thing, and so complete with pictures here. So talks about the case yellowing. It's pretty typical. It says it does not have a standard Apple serial number, label, or barcode. So instead, a simple red label. Okay, which is interesting. And then there's the label right there. And again, the keyboard doesn't even have a standard sticker with a barcode on it. It's a much simpler label. And then you can it shows the pictures here. So some very interesting differences.
Yeah.
But the biggest one, as we pointed out, does not have the standard Macintosh badge. Instead, it has an earlier Apple badge. This is likely before the name Macintosh was designed as the name for the product. This is very unique, as all retail Macintosh computers have a Macintosh name badge on the front.
I wonder if the board has Mr. Macintosh on it.
Well, we don't have any internal pictures, do we?
That would be interesting.
Now here's a comparison of the stickers, the badging by the power supply. This shows a retail Mac versus the prototype Mac, and there's some differences there. You can see. Yeah, and there's some venting differences.
Steve goes into some great details in this PDF of troubleshooting. Now, here to me, this is the coolest thing. Is normally when you open up one of these, everyone knows about the signatures inside the case. Okay, however, they're coded. At least all the ones I've seen for the 128 are coded with like some sort of dark kind of textured material. This one, it's clear plastic. You can really see the signatures really, really well because it's nice, smooth plastic with the raised signatures on it.
It turns out there are some internal pictures here, and so Steve makes some notes of that. Yeah.
EMI coding. Okay. That makes sense.
So there's a lot of there's tiny little differences here and there on the inside. No Mr. Mac though. There's where he normally appears
just
on the
regular
sport of the
Macintosh. Okay.
Macintosh. Yeah. Oh, the board has a date. Wait. Does it say? It says Mr. Macintosh Cameo. The board has a date of 83 on it. And it has a lovingly rendered cameo of Mr. Macintosh, which was the creation of Steve. So where is the picture of the Mr. Mac? I'm looking. So he says it's there. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, I missed it. There
Haha! Fantastic.
Okay. And then powering on and troubleshooting, and this is a 47-page document. Looks like there's some errors to be had. This was a very, very comprehensive review. But the final thoughts from Steve says this historic computer offers a unique look into the pre-release version of Macintosh 128K, a truly revolutionary system in the world of computer. The EEPROM adapter board, unique case, and beautiful handcrafted leather carry bag are just the icing on the cake for them. This is one of the ultimate collectibles out there for a vintage Macintosh computer enthusiast. Okay.
So
well,
I know you tried to find out, because this auction's ended, right?
It ended. They estimated a $20,000 to $30,000 sale price. I've been having fits with their website to try to establish an account, and I don't think it's sold. I don't think it hit some kind of minimum.
Okay.
I think it got up to maybe 18,000 or something. This website. This morning I tried to establish a number of accounts, and I can't get any satisfaction from creating those accounts and logging in completely. So if somebody else has an account and can double check it, because when you click on see, you got to log in. I've logged in a number of times. I can't get it going. But anyway, I don't think it's sold. It is a cool thing. I've not seen one like this before. We've seen other prototypes, but of course, the most notable being the one you mentioned with the Twiggy, the 5 1/4 inch floppy drive on the front. But this one is really cool too. If you got this, would you try to de-yellow it? You just kind of leave it. I think you just kind of leave it.
That's for something this, I would just leave it. Yeah, I would be worried about. It's like was it Antiques Roadshow? Where they're always like, oh, if you hadn't refinished this piece of furniture, it would be worth $8,000. But since you refinished it, looks great. It's worth about $300. So I think that would be the case with this.
Well, the thing that's missing from this that really would make it a great auction is the story.
Yeah.
Who had this?
Right.
Tell us it was employee XXX that
and I really want to know if that is a prototype when they were looking at getting cases made, carrying cases. Was that a prototype as a possible? This is what they're going to be, and then they opted to go for the big canvas bag instead, because this is obviously custom designed. It's got a place for the keyboard to go. It's got some heavy duty latches on front.
Even if the story was a collector found this thing in a barn,
sure, right,
whatever. But just have to know nothing about how it came from probably an internal lab in Apple in 1983 to here, right? So, all right. Well, maybe somebody will let us know. We'll if we find an answer on what ultimately happened to the auction, we'll let you know. Okay. Oh, Eric's Edge says there is a good story behind it. Where is that story? Maybe it was in that 85-page document that Steve wrote. I don't know. I had one more news story. Let's pop that one up.
Start back up. Sure thing.
I wanted to mention from Steve Troughton Smith. Use one of those AI tools out there. There's a lot of people doing this where they're creating or feeding it stuff. It's called Stable Diffusion, and they were trying
Right. Yeah.
to see what would happen if we use this tool to design a Mac.
Huh.
And this is what you get. Sorry, Nanoraptor and everybody. This might be the way we do things in the future.
You've been replaced by AI.
Yeah, we just feed it to an algorithm. Let's see if I can zoom in here. These are cool. I mean, these are awesome looking sketches. I like the O scope one.
Right. Yes. The one with round screen. You don't have to worry about portrait or landscape with this one. Yeah.
Right. You can set it on the side, set it on a corner. It doesn't matter.
It's the only computer that you have to use pi to equate the number of pixels on the screen.
Yes. And look at this. Is this the mouse? It looks like a smaller version of itself is the mouse. I don't know. Let's see. This one right here is
I kind of like that one. The one that's kind of reminiscent of the original Mac, but it's got some interesting angles to it. Yeah. Kind of digging that.
I like this first one here with this. It looks like a bunch of big toggle switches on the front. I like this.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then this one down here, it looks like some wood.
It's an odd one. It's got a cord running right out of the front of it.
I think that's a safety cord right here. This thing, I think you clip that to your belt. And if you fall out of your chair, computing pauses for a moment. But isn't this one cool? This one here.
Wow, it's got about what?
A lot of devices here.
Yeah.
Like a trackball and a touch screen and a couple different sliders. And then it's got this weird disc here. Not sure what that would be used for, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. Stuff like this, while all these are kind of ridiculous on their own, they certainly would inspire ideas, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Create something.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's like, oh, well, this is a good starting point. Let's see what we can do along those lines.
Very interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's over on Twitter at Stroton Smith.
So Eric's Edge in the chat mentioned that Steve talked about the story behind it.
Oh, he did. Okay. I didn't catch that.
And Sharks got into the auction.
Yeah.
And it says lot passed.
Yeah, so that's what
it says you conjectured that it's unsold. Right.
Yeah. You're right, Dave. We should have Steve on. He can talk about the whole story. I guess he got hands on to it because it was located in Connecticut.
Yeah.
I guess he got to inspect it personally. Would like to hear that.
That's really, really cool.
Does he not tell the entire story on his stream? If so, I'll just go pop over there, listen to it. Okay, let's wind it up. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, that about wraps it up. We learned from the chat that the full story of that prototype Mac is, well, at least some of the story, I'm not sure. I didn't see it yet, but Steve Mac84 has a video on that where he talks about evaluating that Mac and writing up that comprehensive comparison document. Yep. Which, by the way, where did I find that? You can download that and look at the conversation. That's over at crap. What's the website? The old website that 68KMLA. That's where they were talking about the Macintosh Liberation Army. Okay, next week, I don't know. We haven't talked about next week. We'll figure something out. Unless you got something.
Nope.
Off the top of your head.
Right. Nothing off the top of my head.
I guess we don't need this on the screen. There we go. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, thanks everybody in the chat for joining us. We're here almost every week on Sundays at 8 a.m. Central, live streaming on our RetroMacCast YouTube channel. And we'll be back next week. Until then, remember, it's not old.
It's retro.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, we did have, actually, we had Steve on the show after we went off. We weren't live anymore. He joined us on our chat here. We talked more about the Lisa documentary. So we're hopeful that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a trailer that's in production, and so hopefully we get a reveal of that, and maybe a good time for David and Steve to join us to talk more about the documentary. And I think you and I are in the trailer.
Yeah.
Can we say that?
Yep.
Well, it's too late. We said it. Can't wait till the royalties.
Oh,
what kind of deal did we sign on that?
Sharks mentioned that we should Cheryl England.
Yeah, we mentioned Cheryl. We were talking about Mac Addict. She was the answer to one of the quiz questions as one of the founders of Mac Addict magazine. She passed recently. A long history of publishing, and especially in the Macintosh world. When was that? Was it earlier this year or something? I think it was pretty recent. From what I gather, unexpectedly. And she wasn't, what I believe, very old. I think she was still in her 50s. Let me double check that. But yeah, it's kind of sad to see that, because, I just remember just always seeing her face in those magazines and, not really knowing much more about her. But there is an obituary. You can search on it and look up Cheryl England and about her rich past.
Yeah, July 29th.
Okay.
61. So yeah, not much older than me.
Barely into her 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. I guess we will sign off. And again, thanks everybody for joining us. John, any last words?
No last words. I'm going to go play with my booty.
Okay, you do that. All right. Well, we'll see everybody next week.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the RetroMacCast with James and John. Email listener comments and questions to retromaccast@gmail.com or post comments on our website at www.retromaccast.com.